I'm here at my children's school, sitting out here waiting to pick them up. And I've wasted about 14 minutes sitting here contemplating whether to shoot this video on my phone or pull out my camera and the suction cup and attach the camera to my windshield, because I hate producing these videos with this vertical format, and I like to do my stuff with a certain quality, but then that means I gotta go back and take it and edit it, and it's just more time consuming and cumbersome. And I wasted 15 minutes just sitting there just going over that, trying to figure out how I wanted to do this. And that's the dilemma for me, of having Mercury in Capricorn, is that Capricorn is very slow. And Mercury in Capricorn does not suit me well for being a so-called content creator, because I'm slow to produce content, because I'm slow to speak. And this is why I really probably enjoy writing more than speaking, although I do well with speaking, public speaking, but it's slow. When I'm editing my videos, it takes me so long to edit because I have so many pauses. I'm from the South. I talk slow anyway. So by the time you factor in my slow cadence, my me using and as a filler, so as a filler, and me taking all those out, it becomes a lot more time consuming to produce content. But enough of my moaning and groaning about that. I've decided just to do this on my phone, and I'm not going to edit this. When I'm done, I'm going to post the raw video. And this is in regard to, first, the last video, not the last, but maybe it was the last. The video I posted was like a snippet of Lovely Soul Empress and I having a behind the scenes conversation as we are preparing for the next episode of the Venus and Mars show. And so sometimes we get into little debates or challenging each other. And so we decided, hell, we'll show people just how we challenge each other as we are coming up with ideas, and we may even challenge each other in a live broadcast, because that is an organic representation of the Venus-Mars paradigm. They are in opposition to each other naturally, and they're also in complement to each other naturally. And so we wanted to show that. Now, both of us have a propensity towards using curse words. Now, I try to police myself more on this channel because I'm looking to grow it, and I try to be a little more conservative. But by nature, I enjoy cursing. It is like a curse word to me is like and, the, and of. It just naturally is a part of my lexicon, because astrologically I have Mercury conjunct Mars, so that can be a natural cusser. And I also have Mercury and Mars square Pluto. So, all the elements of that just naturally flows out of my mouth to use what some people call as foul language. Now, I can't remember Lovely's chart as far as where Mercury, well, she's got Mercury in Aries, if I remember correctly. So there's another signature for this natural propensity towards using curse words. So some were used in the video I posted, and someone expressed their displeasure with the F-bombs. And so I want to address this very briefly before I continue with the video. That we're all adults here. When I post videos, I always denote that these are not for children. This is adult content. And in this world, adults from time to time do cuss. I don't feel like using the R. I want to sound proper and say cursing, but cuss. Adults cuss sometimes. Now, I have a pretty decent vocabulary, so I don't need cuss words to use as fillers. I do it to use them as punctuation, if you will, to help get my point across. It just feels good, but I don't have to. But because I enjoy freedom, I just might do it from time to time, because I'm doing this on this channel under my own behest. We live in a world where many times and in many instances you're being told what you should think, what you should feel, how you should express yourself, and certain groups of people, you know, however they express, it is lauded and applauded. And then in other means, we condemn people for expressing how they choose. I say fuck that. On this channel, I'm going to express how I want. If I don't feel like I want to use profanity, I won't. And if I feel like I want to, I will. This is free. This is not paid content. This does not pay my mortgage. This does not pay my credit card bills. Me posting this content here. It's free. And what I do when I come across content that I don't like, or a personality I don't like, or a viewpoint that consistently misaligns with mine, I don't watch the content. I don't consume it. That's my freedom to not consume, which is why I don't understand things about people complaining about online bullying and all this, because the only way to win is not to play. And if I don't like the game, I don't like the rules, I don't like the people involved, I don't play the game. I get out of it. There's something in the human psyche, a psychosis, where we've become to think we're so important that we have to convince people that they should see things as we do. And that our attention is the equivalent of something like currency. In other words, we've come to believe that by giving someone some attention, which can do nothing for any of us at Whole Foods or Walmart or Target, we come to believe that when we give someone our attention, they owe us something. None of us owes each of us or any of us anything. If I pay you attention or you pay me attention, that is by choice. It's by choice. Same goes for, when I'm out and about, I notice how people, the more you don't pay people attention, conversely, the more enamored they are. Because everybody I see, like in the world, is seeming to want to say, look at me, look at me. And then if I feel like you're looking, say, oh, don't look at me. Oh, you're bothering me. So this is, I guess it's turned into a North Node and Aries discussion, because Aries is an ego. And ego is not all bad, it's not all good. There are layers to the ego. Now, the potential negative side of the ego is just, I need attention for the sake of attention. It is pathological, perpetual grown-up children at large, because Aries is the child of the zodiac. But if you are an adult who still expresses as a child, meaning I need attention for the sake of attention, then that becomes pathological. And so whether I'm producing content and you pay attention, that's a choice. Now, I am a person who believes in showing gratitude. So when people leave comments, I'm going to reply, if they are respectful. Because while I don't owe you anything for your attention, I do understand the exchange of energy. And if you choose to share your energy and take in this content, and then utilize the extra effort or expend the extra effort to then express that hey, I just want to let you know I exist, I'm here, I'm taking in your content, hey, I appreciate what you do, or I'm not sure I agree with such, even a disagreement is fine. But this energy of, I want my 5 minutes back. Now see, that's your ego. Out of control, your ego. Who cares about your 5 minutes? You didn't pay for anything. If anything, I paid, because it took me more than 5 minutes to produce the content. You don't like it? Keep moving. Same thing in our public spheres when we're out amongst people. No one owes you attention. So especially a stranger. It's not my job to pay you attention just so you can feel better about yourself. I'm not responsible for you. And what I'm trying to do is show the evolutionary process that is necessary for the Aryan energy, which all of us possess. Aries is in all of our charts. And it is the spark. It is the initiator of action. It is the epitome of action, because it is the ultimate symbol of action, Aries. It is the emergence. On the flip side, it is the need for attention. It's the baby. It's the uber selfishness. Only I exist. No one else exists but me. While the North Node is in Aries, we're having to look at these things. The whole point of the Venus and Mars show is to contemplate the energy that is Aries, i.e. Mars, juxtaposed with the Libran or Venusian Venus energy. And we know Mars is Aries and Scorpio. Venus is Libra and Taurus. But we're looking at those two complementary and also antagonistic energies, and we're trying to continue this pursuit for time immemorial to make sense of the masculine and the feminine. And the ego is the masculine expression rising out of all of us. And Venus is the counter to that, or the opposing force, because just as the sun rises, it sets. So even as we look at the dynamics between Mars and Venus, we're looking at the dynamics between man and woman. We're looking at the dynamic between masculine and feminine that goes beyond physical gender. We're looking at the relationship between masculine and feminine within each vessel, within the human psyche. And the point of posting the snippet was to show the interplay, the back and forth between the masculine and the feminine, the Mars and the Venus, as a demonstration of trying to find some semblance of harmony or a midpoint. And not to promote further division. Because as this division pervades, it feeds more of the fear of the ego, which is the unevolved masculine energy of dying. And this can be played out in men and women. And it is the reality of the world we live in now. A world that is devoid of meaning. Mars approaches Venus to learn how to love. But in learning how to love, he has to overcome the fear of losing himself. Venus has to allow him to maintain enough of himself to produce something of worth out of the union of those two. And see, we're looking at layers. This works on a gender level of just man and woman, and it goes beyond that to a metaphysical level when we're talking about masculine and feminine as archetypes. My own ego being allowed to lose itself into something that is greater than it. And that magnetic aspect of myself allowing the ego to further cultivate and to not worship it. So it's complicated, it's layered, and that conversation was just an introduction to the podcast that we have initiated, which is the Venus and Mars show, and the ethos behind it, which is, as I wrote to this disgruntled viewer, that our goal is the Hieros Gamos. And the Hieros Gamos is the holy marriage. It is what the so-called Christian faith says waiting on. Christ coming for his bride. That is metaphysical. In Kabbalah, it's called a kula. It is the number 55. It is the bride and the groom coming together. That is what the goal of this interaction that we've initiated. Because if you go online, there's a lot of energy that is propagating and promoting division. Now, on a metaphysical level, there is a need for division. Humanity is the division. Because it allows spirit to divide itself, to see itself. So humanity produces the wound so that it can learn how to approach the healing. And the healing is the reunification of spirit to itself. It creates the wound to learn what it is to heal. And that's our ultimate reality here. When it's all said and done, if it ain't leading to healing, then it ain't about nothing. I know I've said a lot. Play it back, review it. More to come. As always, for private readings, I'm available through my website, 720astrology.com. Know the stars to know yourself. Peace.